Adam sat alone on Christmas Eve in a small cafe near the bus station. The window showed bright lights on the street, but the warmth stayed outside. He held a cup of tea that had gone cold, and he kept staring at it like it was a task. The cafe was quiet, with only a few late customers and a tired worker behind the counter. Soft music played, but it did not reach him. Adam chose the corner table because it made him feel hidden. Adam was 42 and looked older than he was. He used to have a family and a home that smelled like dinner and clean laundry. Now he lived in a one-room apartment that felt like an empty hallway. When the holidays came, the silence there turned sharp. That was why he came to the cafe, to sit where other people's voices could cover his thoughts. He watched families pass the window with gifts and quick steps. He checked his phone, even though he knew there would be nothing. His sister Mona had called for weeks, but Adam stopped answering. He was afraid of being seen. The bell over the cafe door rang, and cold air rolled across the floor. Adam did not lift his head at first. Then he heard pause. A large police dog stepped inside, calm and focused, with a working vest on its back. A leash trailed behind it. The dog paused, scanned the room, and then walked straight toward Adam. The cashier went still. The dog stopped beside Adam's chair and sat. It pressed its head against Adam's knee, gentle and steady. Adam swallowed hard and slowly lowered his hand onto the dog's head. The fur was warm. The dog's eyes stayed on him, only present. Adam felt his throat tighten, and his eyes stung. The door opened again, faster this time. A police officer stepped in, scanning the room with a worried look. He spotted the dog and walked closer with care. He said the dog's name, Buddy. Buddy did not move. The officer looked from Buddy to Adam and softened. He introduced himself as Sam. He apologized for the surprise and said Buddy had slipped his grip near the station. Sam crouched near Buddy and noticed something on the floor. A small red mitten lay by Buddy's paws. It was worn at the thumb and had a tiny stitched star on the back. Adam stared at the mitten as if it was impossible. His hand lifted without thinking and picked it up. The fabric felt thin, like it had traveled through many winters. He told Sam, in a voice that barely held together, that the mitten belonged to his daughter, Lily. He did not add details. Sam's face changed, and his voice grew gentler. He said he was sorry. He said Buddy had found the mitten earlier that day near the river path. Buddy had stopped in the snow and refused to move. Sam picked it up because it looked like it mattered to someone. After that, Buddy kept pulling toward this side of town, like he had a clear idea. Buddy nudged Adam's hand again. Adam noticed a small metal charm clipped to the dog's vest strap. It was a star, scratched and dull, hanging from a simple ring. Adam's breath caught. The star had once been clipped to Lily's backpack. After she was gone, Adam kept the backpack, but the charm disappeared. He thought it was lost forever. The couple near the door began to whisper, but nobody came closer. The cashier poured fresh tea and set it near Adam without questions. Adam felt embarrassed for a moment, then the feeling softened. He realized he had been carrying grief like a secret he must hide. Buddy's calm made the room feel safer more than before tonight. Adam rubbed the star charm with his thumb and noticed a thin crack in the metal. Lily once told him cracked things still mattered because they had been loved. That memory landed gently, not as a knife, but as a hand on his shoulder. Adam's fingers curled around the mitten and the memories rose anyway. Lily on a winter sidewalk, mitten slipping, laughing like it was a game. Lily on Christmas Eve, insisting she should help, taking her time with every small job. Adam remembered how she looked when she was proud. He also remembered the day those lights went out, and how the world became a room with no doors. Adam felt the familiar urge to shut down, to tuck the pain away and pretend he did not feel it. But Buddy stayed close, warm and steady. The dog did not ask Adam to explain. It simply stayed. Sam asked Adam if he would step outside for a moment. Adam hesitated, then nodded. He put on his coat and followed. The cold air hit his face and made his eyes water again. Across the street, the community center glowed with warm light. A banner in the window said free dinner tonight. Sam said the volunteers were serving anyone who needed a place to sit. He also said a woman had called the station earlier, asking if someone had seen Adam. Sam said the caller's name was Mona. Adam's chest tightened. He had pushed her away, yet she still looked for him. Adam looked down at Buddy, then at the mitten in his hand. The mitten felt small, but it carried weight. Sam said Adam did not have to go back to an empty room tonight. Sam said he could eat, sit near people, and speak only if he wanted. Sam said he could call Mona, and he could start with one simple sentence. Adam took a slow breath and nodded. He told Sam he would go to the center. He said he would call his sister. Buddy leaned into his leg, and Adam felt a thin thread of hope hold, just long enough to take the next step. Adam crossed the street with slow steps, holding the mitten in his pocket like a promise. The community center doors were open wide, letting warm air spill out. Inside, voices blended together in a soft hum. Long tables were set with simple food and paper cups. Volunteers moved with easy smiles, not asking questions. Adam paused near the entrance, unsure where to stand. Buddy stayed close, walking at his side as if assigned to guard his balance. Sam spoke briefly with a volunteer and then stepped away, giving Adam space. Adam chose a seat near the wall, where he could see the room without being seen too much. He placed the mitten on the table and rested his hands beside it. People came and went around him. A man laughed loudly at a joke. A woman handed out napkins. Children ran between chairs, their energy filling the room. Adam felt the familiar mix of comfort and distance. He was inside warmth, yet still wrapped in his own quiet. A volunteer brought him a plate and a cup. Adam thanked her with a nod. He ate slowly, tasting each bite. He had not realized how hungry he was. The warmth spread through him, easing a tight knot in his chest. Buddy lay at his feet, head resting on paws, eyes half closed but alert. Adam pulled out his phone and stared at the screen. Mona's name was there, saved the same way it always had been. He had avoided her calls because he did not want to hear worry in her voice. He did not want to explain his silence. Tonight felt different. He pressed the call button and waited. Mona answered on the first ring. Her voice cracked when she said his name. Adam closed his eyes and let out a breath he had been holding for months. He told her where he was. He told her he was safe. He told her he had found something that reminded him of Lily. Mona did not rush him. She listened. She said she was proud of him for calling. She said she could come if he wanted. Adam said not yet, but soon. After the call ended, Adam felt lighter and tired at the same time. He noticed Sam standing nearby, talking with an older man. Sam caught Adam's eye and gave a small nod. Adam nodded back. The simple exchange felt like respect. Adam lifted the mitten and turned it in his hands. He remembered the day Lily learned to tie her shoes. She had struggled, then laughed, then tried again until it worked. She had held up her shoe like a trophy. Adam smiled at the memory, surprised by it. The smile did not erase the pain, but it shared the space. A child approached the table, curious about Buddy. The child asked if the dog was friendly. Adam said yes, very. Buddy lifted his head and wagged his tail once. The child laughed and asked if he could pet Buddy. Adam said yes, gently. The child patted Buddy's head and said thank you. The moment passed like a soft breeze. Adam looked around and realized he was breathing easier. The noise did not feel sharp anymore. It felt alive. He noticed decorations taped to the walls, made by hands that had time and care. He noticed the way people shared small things, chairs, smiles, space. He felt part of it without needing to perform. Sam returned and sat across from Adam. He said Buddy had been trained to follow scent and instinct, but sometimes Buddy did more than the training. Sam said Buddy often chose moments that mattered. Adam listened and nodded. He did not need explanations. He felt the truth of it already. Sam asked Adam about Lily. Adam spoke slowly, choosing simple words. He said Lily loved stars and dogs and helping others. He said Lily believed kindness was a skill you could practice. He said he had forgotten how to practice it with himself. Sam listened without interrupting. Adam felt tears gather again, but this time they did not scare him. He let them come and wiped his face with a napkin. Buddy pressed closer. Sam stayed quiet. The room carried on around them, steady and patient. A volunteer announced that a small candle lighting would begin soon. People gathered near the front. Adam hesitated, then stood. He held the mitten in one hand and Buddy's leash in the other. Sam stood nearby, offering support without pushing. The lights dimmed slightly. Candles were passed out. Adam took one and held it carefully. The flame flickered, small but determined. The volunteer spoke about remembering and hoping, about making room for both. Adam listened and felt the words settle. When the candles were lit together, the room glowed. Adam looked at the flame and thought about Lily's star charm, cracked but shining. He thought about Mona's voice. He thought about Buddy choosing him. He felt something shift, not a cure, but a step. After the candles, people slowly returned to their seats. Adam sat again, feeling calm. He knew the night would still be long. He knew the memories would return. But he also knew he was not alone in this moment. Sam told Adam that Buddy would need to return to duty soon. Adam felt a pang at the thought. He knelt and thanked Buddy, resting his forehead against the dog's head for a brief moment. Buddy licked his hand once and stayed still, as if understanding. Adam watched Sam and Buddy head toward the door. He placed the mitten back into his pocket. He finished his tea and stood. He did not rush to leave. He took one last look at the room and felt gratitude. As Adam stepped outside, the cold air met him again, but it did not feel as harsh. He walked toward the bus stop with steady steps. The lights on the street still blinked, bright and imperfect. Adam knew the path ahead would take time. He also knew he had just taken another step forward. Adam waited at the bus stop with his hands in his coat pockets. The bench was cold, but he stayed seated. Snow rested on the edge of the road, untouched and quiet. The bus sign flickered softly above him. He took the mitten out again and held it in his palm. The fabric felt familiar, like a voice he knew well. Adam closed his eyes and breathed slowly. He reminded himself that this night had already changed. He was still standing. The bus arrived with a low sound and warm light inside. Adam stepped in and found a seat near the window. The bus moved through the streets, passing houses filled with light. Curtains glowed softly, and trees stood decorated. Adam watched without envy. He felt calm curiosity instead. His apartment building came into view, gray and plain. Adam stepped off the bus and walked toward the door. He paused before entering. For the first time in months, he did not dread going inside. He felt ready to face the quiet. Inside the apartment, Adam turned on a small lamp. The room looked the same as always, but it felt different. He hung his coat and placed the mitten on the table beside the lamp. He sat down and looked around. The silence felt softer. Adam moved slowly, making tea and warming his hands. He sat by the window and watched the street below. Snow began to fall lightly. He remembered Lily pressing her nose to the glass during snow nights. She used to count flakes until she laughed at the idea. Adam smiled again, and this time it stayed longer. He spoke Lily's name out loud. The sound did not break him. It steadied him. He realized he had avoided saying her name for too long. Adam picked up his phone and opened a message from Mona. She had sent a simple line asking if he was home safe. Adam replied yes and added thank you. He added another line saying he would like to see her soon. Mona replied quickly with a heart and a time for the next day. Adam leaned back and felt relief. The future did not feel empty anymore. It felt open. A soft knock came at the door. Adam froze for a moment, unsure. Then he walked over and opened it. Sam stood there with Buddy sitting calmly beside him. Sam smiled and said he hoped it was not too late. He explained that Buddy had pulled toward this building during patrol. Adam laughed quietly, surprised and warm. He invited them in. Buddy walked straight to the mitten and lay down beside it. Sam watched with raised brows and shook his head in wonder. They sat together at the small table. Adam poured tea for Sam. They talked about simple things. Sam spoke about his work and the long nights. Adam spoke about Lily and about learning how to sit with memories instead of running from them. Sam said Buddy was trained to sense distress but also to offer comfort. He said Buddy had helped many people, often without words. Adam nodded and reached down to scratch Buddy's head. Buddy leaned into his hand. Adam felt something settle inside him. He understood that support could arrive in unexpected ways. He did not need to explain everything to be understood. After a while, Sam stood and said it was time to go. Adam walked them to the door. He knelt and thanked Buddy again. Buddy wagged his tail slowly and looked at Adam with steady eyes. When the door closed, Adam returned to the table. He sat quietly for a long moment. He felt tired but grounded. He placed the mitten into a small box where he kept important things. He placed the star charm beside it. Adam went to bed that night without the usual weight. He slept deeply and dreamed of walking under stars with Lily laughing beside him. Morning arrived softly. Light touched the window and woke him. Adam sat up and felt rested. He made breakfast and ate without rush. He looked at the calendar and circled the day. He wrote Mona's name beside it. Later, Adam stepped outside for fresh air. The street was brighter in daylight. He noticed neighbors he had not seen before. One waved. Adam waved back. It felt natural. Adam walked toward the park near the river. Snow covered the path, but footprints marked the way. He stood near the spot where Buddy had found the mitten. Adam closed his eyes and thanked the quiet for giving something back. He stayed there for a while, then turned toward home. He felt ready to begin again, slowly and honestly. Adam knew there would still be hard days. He knew grief did not disappear. But he also knew he was not alone anymore. He had taken steps, and more waited ahead. As he walked home, the sun broke through clouds and touched the snow. Adam smiled and kept walking forward. Adam woke early on Christmas morning with light filling the room. The city felt quieter than usual, like it was holding its breath. He lay still for a moment, listening to his own breathing. For the first time in a long while, waking up did not feel heavy. He got out of bed and opened the window a little. Cold air rushed in, clean and sharp. Snow covered the street below, smooth and bright. Adam smiled softly and closed the window again. He turned on the kettle and moved through the room with calm steps. Adam placed the small box on the table and opened it. Inside were the mitten and the star charm. He held them carefully. They did not feel like symbols of loss anymore. They felt like proof of love that had not ended. He made a simple breakfast and sat at the table. While eating, he thought about the call he would make later. Mona would arrive in the afternoon. The thought filled him with nervous energy and quiet joy. He had avoided this meeting for too long. Adam cleaned the apartment slowly. He did not rush. He opened curtains and wiped surfaces. Each small task felt meaningful. The room began to look lighter, not because it changed much, but because he had changed inside it. A knock came at the door just before noon. Adam opened it and found Mona standing there with a warm smile and tired eyes. She stepped forward and hugged him tightly. Adam held her and felt the ground under his feet. Neither of them spoke at first. They sat together on the couch with cups of tea. Mona looked around the room and nodded. She said she was glad he called. Adam told her about the cafe and Buddy and the mitten. Mona listened with her hands wrapped around the cup. Tears filled her eyes, but she did not look away. Mona told Adam that she had worried every day. She said she never stopped believing he would find his way back. Adam told her he was still learning. Mona reached over and squeezed his hand. They talked about Lily. They shared memories that had been too painful before. They laughed softly at stories of small moments. The laughter did not erase the sadness. It made space for it. Later, they went outside together. The sun was high, and the snow reflected light everywhere. Adam walked beside Mona toward the community center. He wanted to show her the place where the night had turned. The center was open again, welcoming anyone who came. Some of the same volunteers were there. One recognized Adam and waved. Adam waved back with ease. Mona noticed and smiled. They helped serve food for a while. Adam carried trays and poured cups. He felt useful and present. Mona watched him with quiet pride. People thanked them, and Adam nodded, feeling part of something larger than himself. A child ran past laughing, and Adam felt a brief ache. It passed gently. He breathed and stayed in the moment. Sam appeared near the doorway, Buddy walking beside him. Buddy spotted Adam and walked over, tail moving. Adam knelt and greeted him. Mona watched with curiosity and warmth. Sam greeted Mona and said he was glad to see Adam again. Adam introduced them. Buddy sat between them, calm and steady. Adam felt gratitude rise again, simple and strong. Mona asked Sam about Buddy, and Sam explained his work. Adam listened and felt connected to the story, like a chapter he would always remember. As afternoon faded, Adam and Mona left the center. They walked slowly back toward Adam's building. The sky shifted colors, pale blue to soft gold. At the door, Mona asked if Adam would come to her place for dinner next week. Adam said yes without hesitation. The word felt solid and true. Mona hugged him again before leaving. Adam watched her walk away, feeling full and calm. Back inside, Adam placed the small box on a shelf where sunlight reached it. He sat by the window and watched the evening settle. Lights appeared one by one across the street. Adam thought about the night at the cafe and the warmth that followed. He thought about Buddy choosing him. He thought about Mona's steady love. He felt anchored. As night fell, Adam turned on a small lamp and sat quietly. He did not feel alone. He felt accompanied by memory and presence. Adam understood that healing did not mean forgetting. It meant carrying love forward. He was ready to do that now. Outside, snow fell again, slow and gentle. Inside, Adam closed his eyes and smiled, knowing this Christmas had given him something unexpected and lasting.